Welcome to Climate Quickies, bite-sized nuggets of climate goodness from our TEDxLondon experts in under 5 minutes.
In this week's Climate Quickie, we hear from Ann and Billie Dumaliang, sisters and co-founders of the Masungi Georeserve Foundation, a model for privately led conservation, sustainable reforestation, and geotourism in the Philippines. Looking after 2,700 hectares of land, illegal lodgers encroaching from all sides, and then 2 of your rangers get shot? Climate action doesn't come much more high stakes than this. Tune in to learn how you can defend a rainforest using just a pair of beauty scissors and a camera. Over to Ann and Billie to learn more. Stay curious.
So why has Masungi Georeserve been under attack? It's because we're trying to change the way things have always been done in terms of forest conservation in the Philippines. We are one of the 17 megadiverse countries in the world, but our forests, our primary forests, are down to 3% of their original forest cover, and a lot of our biodiversity is also being threatened. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to restore this very important watershed around the limestone formations of Masungi to be able to restore their capacity to protect people from Metro Manila and from the Rizal province against landslides and floods that have affected so many lives in the past. If you don't know, the Philippines is actually one of the most impacted by the climate crisis, one of the consistently ranked highest in terms of studies worldwide. But we don't seem to take nature-based solutions too seriously at the moment. Reforestation programs in the past have always failed because to be able to reforest well, you need to, change the way things are done. You need to go up against corruption. And because of that work, we inevitably encounter a lot of vested interests in the land, including quarrying companies, illegal loggers, and land grabbers. So that's why when we do some exposés or we stop illegal logging activity or we report illegal activities, then we eventually get some retaliation through legal means, physical means, disinformation. And so those are all the different attacks that environmental defenders in the Philippines face.
So for instance, right, one of the most recent successes we've had is to be able to cancel 1,300 hectares of land under 3 quarries that was about to level down a huge portion of our reforestation site. And we were able to do that recently, but as backlash, now we're facing congressional hearings, attempts to build a prison facility on top of the main spine of the rock formations and such. We have to when the pandemic happened, we had to move into the reservation and stay inside for most of the time just so we could respond quickly to the illegal activities that we were expecting to worsen during that time. And of course, it doesn't help that there were checkpoints set up on the road going to the reservation. At any time now, a lockdown could happen. So that was a sacrifice we had to make, and a sacrifice, honestly, that a lot of our team members, our rangers, had to make. And you can imagine what it's like on the ground. It's literally us using our own bodies as shields to stop illegal activities from encroaching into the conservation area. And we've encountered so many creative ways of doing illegal activities, from speculators using religion, dressing up as priests just to make it look more palatable for people, to have them stay inside the area, make it harder for us to remove them. We've encountered, worst of all, having 2 of our rangers shot while they were sleeping in their ranger stations. This was back in mid-2021. And that was really the most challenging, emotionally taxing time for us, because our rangers, we see them as family. And this was the first time that anyone has made that much of a glaring attempt on anyone's life in our area. That really shook things up for us. And we're lucky that we have rangers who 3 days after that happened still had the guts, still had the passion to go back to the ranger stations, because they understand that if they don't, everything that we've worked hard for would be wasted, and that there's no one else but us who would protect that site. Billie had to confront armed guards trying to occupy 1,000 hectares of land using just a pair of beauty scissors. She just basically cut off the ropes and the bamboo fences they put up just with a pair of scissors, because it was all the resources we had at that time. One thing to add that adds context to all of this really is that the Philippines has continuously been the deadliest country in Asia for land defenders. And globally, we would rank in 2022 as the 4th deadliest place all over the world.
In the last 6 years, we've foiled maybe 5 major forest invasions in the watershed just through our small team of rangers and volunteers and the media that has helped us gain attention for these things are happening. And so we've always learned that through working with the public and the media and making sure that these issues are heard across the country, even, that we're able to spur action, and we're also able to change mindsets, change awareness on a national level. So yeah, that kind of violence, that kind of tension is really, challenging for our team. But we've learned how to adapt, we've learned how to ask for help, and we've learned also to be calm amid all of these things. The biodiversity that you can find here in Masungi Georeserve is really rare and special. For example, we have a very rare species of vine that has flowers that are blue and lilac. This is called the Josie's vine, and it's the cousin of the jade vine, which is a jade green version that looks like a chandelier. And it's so rare that the Kew Gardens in London actually transplanted this plant to be one of the key species to feature and to propagate inside the Kew Gardens. So that's how important Masungi is as a sanctuary for biodiversity. And we also have the highest snail count in the Philippines because of the presence of the rocks and the limestone and the calcium that we have inside. We also have almost 100 species of birds, more than half of which can only be found in the Philippines.
Right, so you'd find updates on what we're up to on our social channels. We update our Facebook page pretty often for what is happening on the ground and what help we need. You can also follow us on Instagram. It's simply Masungi Georeserve. And we hope you could stay vigilant with us. From our experience, speaking out, making noise, helping us gain more reach and more supporters always makes a difference. Please stay vigilant with us, help us spread the word, help us call for accountability for our forests.
And to add, I think pressure from the international community is very important to us now. So even if you're in the UK and in London and whatever,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, in whatever time zone, if you can post on your socials or whatever platform you have, and use the hashtag Save Masungi to raise awareness and make sure that people know the situation here, that would be a lot of help.
Thanks for listening to this quickie.
This episode was created by our superstar podcast team at TEDxLondon. Until next time,
Stay curious.